listening to Opie and Anthony. On the virus, Sirius-XM.
I think it shows a weakness, is that we're going to afford this guy the liberties that an American
who decides
citizen
that?
gets.
No, everybody gets it. You don't have to be American citizen. You're telling me that if a European tourist comes here, if a European tourist comes here and they think he broke the law, we can take him inside, waterboard him, we can do all this to him because they're not a citizen, so therefore our rules of our country don't apply to them?
When it's considered
it applies to everybody.
When it's considered an act of war, I believe it's different.
No, it isn't.
I do believe that it would be different.
These guys aren't an army. What country do they represent?
Well, that's exactly it. They were being hidden by the Taliban. Exactly.
They need to be done in civil court because they're not military.
So we should have went through a civil court proceeding for a guy who just killed 3,000 of us. Come on, it doesn't make sense.
He was the number one. It doesn't make sense. Who decides that?
He was the number one. We, the country.
Oh, you guys all decide. Well,
as the nation, we have decided.
We'll give Miranda to this guy, but we won't do Miranda to this.
Maybe they would have Mirandized him had the Taliban given him over.
You know,
maybe they would have Mirandized him had the Taliban given him to us.
If you're going to be a country that lives by the rule of law, then you have to accept the rule of law even when it's inconvenient.
As they said, the Constitution is not a suicide pact. It's not a pact to say we're going to allow people just to come in and do whatever they want and hide behind loopholes in the law or things they see as loopholes in the law. It's not a suicide
Miranda's
pact.
A loophole?
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying
you are.
You're saying that Bin Laden's still free because we didn't read him his fucking Miranda rights?
No.
That doesn't make sense.
I'm saying how about
they would not have given him up, Jesse.
Do you want the latest one? Remember when we had him cornered at Tora Bora and they let him out?
It's despicable.
Yeah. Well, do you know why now, I think?
Why do you think?
We would have never been able to invade Iraq then if we'd have caught him, would we?
That's okay, like you said.
No, if we'd have caught him, then there would have been no invasion of Iraq. So maybe we chose not to catch him because of we already had planned the
Not at all. Bullshit. They
Iraq.
could have waterboarded him and said he confessed that Saddam Hussein helped him. We would have had an easier time invading Iraq. They would have waterboarded him. If you could get me to admit to 9/11, you could get Bin Laden to admit that fucking Saddam Hussein helped him.
Saddam Hussein would have been our ally against the Taliban.
Hey, look, I got no quarrel with Saddam Hussein. I'm only talking about Afghanistan, and the fact is the Taliban would not have given him to us.
You don't know that.
You think that if he was read his Miranda rights, if we sent a fucking cop over there, you have the right to remain silent.
You know what I love about you guys? You all talk a big thing, but when you only talk it, you don't walk it. Pick up a gun and go fight once.
I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that.
Bullshit. You guys are all the same. You know, you talk war, you send everybody off to war, but when it comes your time to go, whoops, not me.
No,
I ain't going. Let's send everybody else over there.
That's nonsense. No, I'm not going to stop it.
It ain't nonsense.
It is nonsense. I'm not saying go send the boys to war. I don't want us to be the world's policeman. I say pull them out of Germany, pull them out of fucking everywhere, pull them off the team.
We agree.
Completely.
We agree.
Pull them out of Korea.
Then why are you yelling at me?
Jesse, I don't care if the North Koreans...
You're agreeing with me, and you're yelling at me while you agree with me.
We have a voluntary military, and in a time...
Which has to end.
In a time...
Bring back the draft.
Hold on, I'll tell you why I'm yelling. In a time when we're attacked by a nation that I feel was behind the attack, which is Afghanistan, I am for the military doing what has to be done.
Now, let me ask you something.
I am not one of these guys that thinks the military should go and fight all over the world.
Where have we proven who attacked us on 9/11? Where was that proven? We were told that. Where was it proven?
I believe Bin Laden has said that he has agreed that he did it, and I believe that the hijackers said they were working for Al Qaeda. It's pretty much known.
Really, we interviewed the hijackers. I thought they were all dead.
Trail, though,
no paper trail.
Now, okay, all right.
That should have been used to stop them.
All right, let me ask you this one then.
Sir.
They said it was 19 of them. How come 5 of them are still alive and they haven't been taken off the list of the 19?
Really?
Yeah.
Where are they?
They're over in Saudi Arabia. They're alive. 5 of these guys.
Are they really
alive?
So how do you know where's your proof of that?
Three of them.
You want a Miranda right and proof that Bin Laden did something, and you're saying there's 5 guys alive? Yes.
3 of them are pilots in the Saudi.
They're not pilots.
Jimmy, waterboard them and make them say no.
But there's not 5 of those of those hijackers alive.
Yes, they are.
They're not. He's hosting a talk show in Saudi Arabia. No, he's not.
They're all dead. You're sure of that?
Yes.
Were the bodies identified?
No, but that's take you to that argument.
Well, we'll just fly with that. What the hell? My government told me that. So, you know why I don't believe my government?
Well, you believe Saudi Arabia's government because they're over there flying planes around, commercial airliners?
But here's why I don't believe my government. My government has lied to me so many times in my life.
Enough.
they lied to me about the Gulf of Tonkin incident. Isn't that pretty important? The incident that got us into Vietnam.
You didn't want to go back that far with Kennedy. We can't go back that far in Vietnam. You said to me that we're those guys that said...
because this happened in 2004, pal, so we're not going back that far.
You said we send our guys off to war without giving a shit, and I'm telling you, that's not true.
Yes,
I'm not saying... I agree with you.
When did you go to war?
I've never been in the military.
There you go, so you don't know.
But I say pull them out of every... So because I've never been in the military, when we are attacked by I feel a nation, we should not...
It should be proven first.
I feel we proved it, you feel we didn't. You also feel that fucking Bush was behind 9/11, so we're always going to disagree.
Hey, don't put fucking words in my mouth.
You feel that the U.S. government was behind it, and Bush is at the head of the U.S. government.
I didn't say that.
Who do you think's behind it?
Our
government's covering it up.
We have not been told the truth.
So you feel that Bush...
Well, okay, wait a minute. All right? If you'll calm down a moment.
You're yelling. You said the F word.
Yelling.
You're the governor.
This is serious. And I'm only talking your language so you'll understand.
No, you shouldn't bring you down to my level. Bring me up to yours.
You know,
I want to solve what you said about... I want to solve what you said. No, I want to solve what you said about...
You know, if you're not going to let me talk, I'm out the door.
You've been talking the whole time. All you do is yell over people, and you don't want to address point by point. You act like we say, send our boys to war, fuck them. We've never said that. I agree with you, but I want to pull them out of Germany. I want to pull them everywhere. The U.S. military should never be dying for other countries. I don't care what happens.
Get them out.
Fuck them. I don't care if Kim Jong-il takes the South. That's not my business. I just think that if we are attacked, we have the right to want our military to respond. So that's not some warmonger saying, fuck the boys, send them over. That's what I wanted to address.
Jesse just sits and looks at Jimmy.
Why?
Awkwardly.
That was a fair point I just made. You were wrong when you said that.
I don't know. I didn't listen.
You never do. You have X amount of points, and you just talk over everybody. Because you're a big guy, and you talk loud.
I talked over you.
Yes.
You're just now yelling at me because I'm not talking.
I'm not yelling at you. I'm just yelling about your point. You accused us of something, so it's not fair.
I didn't accuse him.
Sure you did. You guys are just full of shit. You're warmongers. It's like, that's not the truth.
Yeah.
Yes.
I stand corrected.
Thank you.
You're a great American.
Well, I'm not saying I'm a great American, but I'm not a warmonger.
When your country calls, you're there.
Hey, I've never been in the military, so you're brave. I'm a coward. I have no right. We got it. Stop.
Did I say that?
Yes, you did, through implication. We all speak this. We have the commonality of language, so you can't say, did I say that, when you say something.
I don't think you have to have been in the military to understand the power and the proper use of the military if you're an informed citizen of this country. I think you can look and say, we shouldn't be the world police. Mm-hmm. And I think you can look and say, wow, this does threaten our national security directly, and the military should be used in those times.
He's nodding. Good.
I just think it's a little, obviously you've served. You came from a family that served. We didn't. I think we were around during a weird time. I missed the Nam by 4 years.
What did you do in Nam?
No
Jesse?
Draft.
What did Jesse do in Nam?
Nothing.
He was a demolitions guy,
I'm being
Navy
serious.
SEAL.
I don't know.
I am too. Nothing.
Demolition.
Are you being sarcastic?
Yes.
No, I'm a Navy SEAL.
No,
what do we do?
I don't know.
Well, I'll put it to you this way.
I just want to know a little bit about your military history.
The latest thing the Navy SEALs have done that was publicized, I put into poetry. And that was on the night that Jesus Christ supposedly rose from the dead, the Navy SEALs shot 3 pirates straight through the head.
Cuckoo.
If you recall, remember the 3 pirates that took the ship?
Exactly.
And that was on Easter night, and the SEALs shot 3 of them straight through the head.
But what was your gig?
And I liked it. You know why I did? Well, do you know? No. You know why I did I did the poem?
Why?
Because it shows, number one, that war doesn't take a holiday. And it shows, number 2, that we SEALs will kill you on Christmas if we feel like it.
I think everybody
Christmas is coming up.
Everybody was pretty goddamn impressed with that one because
I wasn't. They didn't Mirandize those pirates. They did not Mirandize those pirates,
Jimmy.
And it also wasn't in the U.S., was it?
But you understand what I'm saying?
No,
we
but
knew
you
they
understand what I'm saying. It wasn't in the United States.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, Miranda is the law here. It's not the law there.
All right, so the
And the law of
technicality.
the seas are a lot different too.
I know.
But trust me, I can do you in and not think twice about it.
It's a big deal.
It was my job.
I'm funnier than you. You're tougher than me. All right. What do we get?
That's debatable.
I'm better in a comedy club.
Freaking debatable.
All right. Well, then maybe you're not tougher than me. All right, what do you want me to tell you? Sorry.
Let's step outside and find out.
Oh, stop it. You're embarrassing yourself.
No.
I'll just bite your dick. Stop it. I don't care if you're tougher than me. I don't give a shit.
You're also dumber, too.
Good one. You're the one that gets mad and pushes the microphone away and saw. I actually was agreeing with most of what you said, except when you got personal and implied that we're something that we're not. I agreed with you about the overuse of the military completely. Completely.
Good.
My father was service. Did you mention your father? My father was military. He happens to feel the same way I do. So if you can mention your parents, I can mention my dad. My mom, Connie Pinko. She didn't believe in the war.
Why didn't you then follow in your father's footsteps?
Yeah.
I just didn't.
I followed in mine. I drink.
Yes. You followed in his crawl steps.
But Jesse didn't do anything in Vietnam?
No.
Oh.
Party?
Nothing that...
He wouldn't talk about it.
So you can't talk about it.
No, you can, but I well, I'll put it to you this way. I wrote about one op that I did in my first autobiography book, and the publisher refused to print it.
Really?
Yeah.
So why don't you make a blog?
Because
I was peeling potatoes.
And it's because the operation that I talked about was so sensitive that it could have well caused an international incident that they felt shouldn't be brought to light.
So can't you put it on the internet somewhere?
I could put it anywhere, but why should I talk about it? It's no one's business.
Well, you wrote a book and you tried to put it in the book.
Yeah,
I made a mistake. I wrote about it in the book, and then the publisher said we can't print this because he said it's too inflammatory.
Yeah, but you're the guy who knows, Jesse. The fucking publisher. He doesn't know. He shouldn't dictate what you tell the public. You know more than he does.
They publish it, and
but I mean in a blog.
pay for it.
In a blog or something.
I don't do computers. I'm computer illiterate happily.
So you're not smarter than me. I'm very good on computers.
Well, good for you. You're way smarter than me. I also don't wear a watch. I don't own a cell phone and will never.
Why? That's a tracking thing?
Because to me, it's aggravating. I mean,
I'll give you that.
Why would you have a beckoning call that people can ring you at any time, and you walk around with this thing where people can locate you? Like my vehicles, they got that North Star stuff. I disconnected immediately. As soon as, absolutely. I'd rather break the window if I lock my keys in than to have them know where I'm going and they can follow me every step of where I go.
Is that really a problem for you?
Yes.
They don't care.
Yes.
That means you're going to some interesting place.
No, but the point is the fact they can do it.
Where's Jesse?
With this satellite, if they want to, they can follow you
Jesse,
and know right where you're at.
You're 6'8". They can follow you anyway.
No, I'm not.
You're an
I'm
easy
6'4".
guy. They know where you're going.
No, they don't.
Jesse Ventura can't hide anywhere.
Yes, I can.
No,
Mexico.
They know where you are. You just told us where you go.
You can't find me. Try finding me.
They can find you. You're the giant American.
Let's play Find Jesse Ventura and go.
You're not easy to blend in.
Is Jesse Ventura?
Jesus.
Now, like I said, I oppose that because these wars aren't going to be won, and we're not even paying for them. So we're going to send the kids to die, and then we're also going to make them pay for it when they come back because we're not paying for it.
Well, I agree with the fact that we shouldn't be world police. We should pull them back. Yep. If you're in a situation that cannot be won, obviously, get the fuck out. Get them out. And
but we have an ego in our country. After all, the Russians failed there, so did the English, but we're the Americans. We won't.
Well, yeah, and the reasoning though, do you really think we went in there to colonize and
no? I think we went in there to protect the natural gas pipeline that we put in. That's why I think we're there.
I know
it's all about money.
The Russians went in to just annex the place.
The bottom line is always follow the money. Because they only do something if there's money involved. And in the case of Afghanistan, there's a huge natural gas pipeline there that's very important.
How come between Iraq and Afghanistan in 8 years gone by, we've still seen none of this oil we're supposed to have? We're supposed to have these giant...
We're seeing it. The oil companies are seeing it.
Are they?
Sure.
Is it? So we're
and
not...
you're paying for it every time you go to the gas station.
Well, I think I'm paying for $70-some-odd a barrel from Saudi Arabia. I don't think I'm paying for
the Saudi oil's
oil that's coming in
the Saudi
from
oil's going bad. That's why we had to go to Iraq. Because the Saudis are running out of oil.
Why don't we just go to Alaska? I mean, if instead of like this whole thing about Iraq, why not just go to Alaska or figure out a way to get that
there?
But do you understand what I'm saying? Like, if there's a way to get all this crazy stuff done in Iraq. Why not just legislate somehow and get it out of Alaska? There's oil there.
I don't know. Don't ask me.
But do you understand what I'm saying? Like, that's such an easier solution than staging a war.
Yeah, but why use ours when we can use someone else's?
Because ours is easier. It's less headaches. There's less violence. It's going to be cheaper to bring from Alaska. If it's all about money, they're going to save money getting them from Alaska and not having to have security and all these people to protect. It's cheaper, I imagine.
I might have an answer for you. Do you believe we are very much a war-based economy? A militaristic-based economy.
We're a very militaristic country. We're the most aggressive country in the world. I mean, if I were a foreigner, I would fear the United States more than anyone because we're the guys that'll attack you. You know, we'll line up our military at another sovereign nation, we'll invade, and we'll overthrow you. You know, that's what bothers me. See, I never believed my country would do that. I saw the Nazis, or I heard of the Nazis doing it. I know the communists did it, and now we've done it. So we're no better than them. We'll line our military up and we'll invade and we'll occupy you. Mm-hmm. You know, and to me, occupying another country is ridiculous. And that we're not just doing it in one. We got two now, Iraq and Afghanistan. You know, we're occupying, and which you think that these wars haven't had the direct effect on our economy?
Oh,
we're not paying for them, and they're going to come. The chickens will come home to roost at some point. Mm-hmm. And ultimately, what will we have achieved? I've yet to figure out what the end game is here. Yeah. What ultimately, and not only we're going to send these 30,000 troops in, right? Mm-hmm. What is it that we declare victory to? What is that? What is the flag that we're going to capture now where we can sit back and say, we won?
From what Obama said last night, the victory is that in 18 months, we take this corrupt, illegal government, turn them around, train their army and their police to fight the Taliban and Al-Qaeda by themselves.
For us.
Yeah. And then
why would they do that?
And then we leave.
What's their incentive to do that?
They hate
They're
the
not
Taliban.
going to. But they're not going to. We cannot, in that short time. We've been in Iraq for how many years, and we can't just leave now. And we've done as much as we can to try to set up a government that can take care of itself.
You know what pleases my heart? Is that you look around now and you see all the poverty in our country, and I feel so good that we're helping all these other countries so much more. You know, when we've got problems of our own here that we seem to ignore.
You won't get an argument here.
We completely agree.
Well, there you go. And
what's that about, Jesse?
I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, to me, don't you take care of your own backyard first before you worry about everybody else's?
I think it's a little good cop, bad cop.
See, to me, it's got to be money. Somebody's making huge amounts of money over there, like in Iraq. Okay, Halliburton's profiting unbelievable. Blackwater, the mercenaries, they're making a ton of money.
They were.
People are making money, and that's why we're there. That's the bottom line. See, I wouldn't join the service today, and I would encourage no one to. You know why? Our military is nothing more than the strong arm of our corporate. When our corporate can't get the job done, that's when we send our military in to kick their ass and make them. And that's what we do.
Why is the dollar so shitty then? Like, why is the economy in the tank? It's like, after all this stuff that's supposed to be great for us, the economy stinks and the dollar stinks.
Yeah, because we're the one thing you learn, or you try to learn, is that the worst thing a superpower can do is get involved in a war. No. You notice China's not doing none of this. China's doing their economy. And that's why they're going to pass us so bad, because we're involved in these idiotic wars out there that drain your economy. They drain all your resources. You accomplish virtually nothing. When this is all said and done, I hope I'm alive 20 years from now, because I want to see the result. I want to see what did we accomplish with these two wars that we went into, because I don't see the end picture.
I got to comment on something you said that I think some people will find offensive.
That he's funnier than me?
Yes. That you wouldn't join the military today. Strong arm for corporate.
Yeah.
Now, you're talking to a lot of guys that are in the service, and that to me is demoralizing. And coming from a guy that did come from Vietnam and went through a lot of the same public criticism by people, don't you think that's bad for morale for people that are serving?
Because we should take better care of our service people. It's our job to only put them in the line of danger when we're threatened. And we're not doing that. We're using our military as an aggressive force out in the world. You know what's interesting? When I lived deep down in Mexico, you know what the most popular T-shirt is down there amongst young people? It shows a picture of George Bush, and on the front it says "Weapon of Mass Destruction."
They are a bunch of comedians.
Oh, they're funny.
There.
But do you feel that we belong? Let me ask you a question. Do you think that Korea was justified? Like, should we have been in Korea?
What do you mean? The Korean War?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't honestly answer. Is it justified?
Meaning, wasn't it just a kind of like, shouldn't we just allow them to do their own?
Yeah. And Vietnam was the same way. It was
do you agree, though, that sometimes you have to take things in the context of the time instead of like the past or what you think the future will be?
I believe you should learn from history and don't make the same mistake twice. When you see it go bad once, why would you come back around and watch it again?
All right,
maybe this time we'll get it right.
Now look at World War II. It ends. The Russians swoop in. Now there's this battle.
We also swoop in.
Of course we did. But we did. Of course, everyone wanted to chop up Europe, and we did. We did.
You know what?
But that made Korea that much more important because then we didn't want the communists taking over all of Southeast Asia.
Right.
But it's the time. But no.
No, I'm only
Mr.
laughing.
Ventura,
there's something I got to tell you, and I'm waiting for you to finish.
I'm just saying, in the context of that time, it was a viable thing to do.
I guess.
In hindsight, you might look back and go, why were we so paranoid? But it was a very paranoid time. Well, now you can explain.
Okay, now, let me explain. The last about 4 times I've gone to L.A., for some reason I've had Russian car drivers, guys that lived in the Soviet who now live here, and they're all about my age, and I get conversation with them, and you know what I asked them? I said, back in the Cold War, I said, what were they telling you in Russia? And I said, well, they were telling us we had to stop the aggression of the American imperialists because they were going to take over the world. Now, and I tell them, well, we were told that you guys, the domino effect of communism, that you were going to take over the world. Do you think the leaders got together and said, here's what we're going to sell to both of our peoples? You scare the shit out of your people saying that the capitalist American imperialists are going to take over. We'll tell our people that the domino effect of communism is going to take over. So we get both sides to rise up.
Allegation.
Well, you know what?
And both peoples are being told the same thing about each other. And yet later when we meet each other, we're all the same, aren't we?
Rocky IV taught us that, and the fact that those, I'm not even saying that it's wrong, but those 4 drivers from Russia, I mean, I don't know if I should question the entire Cold War, because 4 disgruntled ex-Soviets.
Well, you probably shouldn't, but they're real people, and they really lived through it, and they know what they were told, and they know what they believed, so why wouldn't you accept a regular person? What do they got to be, a diplomat or a foreign leader elected before you'll believe them?
Was Hitler ever charged, though? Was Hitler ever charged? Like, when you talk about Bin Laden were charged, we just knew Hitler was the guy. Everyone knows Bin Laden was the head of Al-Qaeda. People knew Al-Qaeda did this. They did their own investigation.
Yeah, they know it. We've proved it unbelievably beyond any reasonable doubt.
I believe so. Hey, look, you're comfortable making allegations about 9/11 with absolutely what I feel is not proof. I'm comfortable making these allegations with what you feel is not proof.
Yep.
In Afghanistan, I really feel that country was protecting Bin Laden, who attacked us, and they were fostering and nurturing Al-Qaeda. Iraq's totally different. Every other country is different. But what should we have done with Afghanistan as a country who I feel was aggressive and responsible for harboring Bin Laden when he attacked the country?
I don't know.
And a training camp.
Invade them and occupy them?
But I mean, it's not about
I guess that's what we do. We invade and occupy them.
Let's say there was no Iraq.
Teach them the right way to live.
We had gone, but that's...
even though for thousands of years they've been fighting over there, but we're the United States.
Again,
we can stop
without
it.
sarcasm, I'm asking you for real.
I'm not saying sarcasm. I'm telling you exactly why I feel that so invading the country and occupying them with our military is the thing to do.
What should we have done? You're saying you don't know. You're giving a sarcastic answer to what we did do. I'm saying, what should we have done? What's the answer there? Forget Iraq. I'm not going to argue with you about it. I was for it in the beginning. I was wrong. I'm against it. We should not be there. Yep. But what's the right thing in Afghanistan? How would you handle that?
I don't know. That's the difficult. That's the 800-pound gorilla, really, when you look at it. Is invading a country and occupying it the answer? I tend to think no. It doesn't seem to work. We tried it in Vietnam. It failed miserably.
But Vietnam,
there.
I think we had no business being with. That was not our fight.
Yeah, but we also propped up a phony government just like we're doing here. So they do have a great parallel to them.
Do we have no right to go after the Taliban as a government? If the government was harboring this guy and this organization, which, look, the way war is now, it's different. Well, they killed 3,000 people.
Okay, if you look at it that way, shouldn't we have attacked Saudi Arabia then? Because they were the people that were in the planes, supposedly.
Yeah, but they were just citizens as opposed to the government sanctioned thing. Come on.
Well,
I hate Saudi Arabia.
We should have invaded Saudi Arabia.
I'll go with you there.
Not only that, then we could take all what they got of their oil.
No, we should just let them be overthrown. We should just stop dealing with them and allow the fucking locals to have them and fuck the House of Saud.
But if we do that, they might not be good for our interests.
For the oil, so we go to Alaska. That was my question.
Oh, okay.
Isn't Alaska?
Listen, Jesse's running out of time, and I wanted to know.
Not really, because I got canceled because Geraldo's not in town today, and I'm supposed to do him next. So I don't know what my schedule. I got a couple hours. I think I got an hour. If I'm wrong of dead time yet.
But is it being like if we say
I don't have the answers to everything, and I don't claim to have them all. But I just do know that I feel strongly that we're that we shouldn't be invading countries. We shouldn't be occupying countries, and it's going to be bad for our economy, and ultimately I think it's going to be a disaster.
But did we invade Japan, though, or did we invade, like, when we feel that country was the aggressor? Is it invasion if you're responding to the country attacking you?
No country attacked us.
But again, I'm saying in the context of them protecting bin Laden and Al-Qaeda, I feel that Afghanistan as a government did.
Well, you feel that they did, but did they?
Well, the U.S. felt they did, too.
Well, we'll go there whether we did or didn't.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like you could make the point that the government was helping bin Laden and behind bin Laden.
You don't know that.
Well, I feel that the U.S. government.
The reason I'm such a cynic, I don't believe what my government tells me today. So many of the facts that my government comes out with, I tend to feel, well, wait a minute, they've lied to me so many times. Could they be lying and turning this into a political football too to get me believe?
Yes.
And you know what the most disgusting one we've done lately? The one to Pat Tillman. When our country lied and used it politically and tried to create something that didn't happen. They even lied to his family, this hero, this guy that quit the NFL and his multi-million-dollar contract to become an Army Ranger. He was unfortunately killed by friendly fire, which any of us in the Special Forces knows that's always a risk. It happens. It's bad, but it happens. But what did our government then do? For political advantage, they tried to create a whole different scenario. They tried to say Al-Qaeda and all them killed him so that we get even more angry. Now Al-Qaeda's even killed our hero Pat Tillman, and they lied to his family, they lied to everybody. So when my country tells me these things, like they're harboring bin Laden and they're doing all this stuff, I take it with that grain of salt. I'm a skeptic. I go, am I being lied to again by my own government to manipulate my thinking so that I will follow and go along to get along? Always remember too, Thomas Jefferson's famous quote.
Get that bitch in here, I have a heart on.
Dissension is the greatest form of patriotism. Yeah. And I'm a dissenter. I believe in dissension. I believe that if you don't hold your elected people's feet to the fire, if you don't question everything they do, you will get bad government. And we got proof of that.
For senator, is that why you...
I didn't run. I flipped a coin.
Really?
Yep. True story. I was split. I didn't know what to do. I was torn both ways, and filing was going to end in an hour, and it's a half-hour drive, and down.
Was it a peso?
No, and I said, I turned to my wife, I turned to my wife, and I said, I don't know what to do here. And my wife looked at me, and she said, well, you've always believed in fate and destiny, haven't you? And I said, pretty much. She said, why don't you flip a coin? And I sat back a minute, and I went, you're right. So I walked in the center of my floor. I took a quarter, and I looked at her. I said, heads I run, tails I don't. I flipped it in the air. I let it land. It came up tails. I looked at her, and I said, I'm not running. Let's move on.
Were you a little relieved?
Yeah. Yeah, because I left it to fate. Now, if it would have came up heads, I'd be a U.S. senator right now, and I'd be very powerful because I'd be the 60th senator, the one they would need to have to avoid a filibuster. Can you imagine the power I'd have as an independent?
They'd have loved
I'd have both of these sides giving me everything I wanted to try to buy my vote. Because that's
I don't think the Republicans would think they're going to get your vote. I think the Republicans would consider you a lost cause.
Yeah, they would give up on that.
No, that is not true. I very much stand with Republicans on real fiscal issues. I'm fiscally conservative.
The Virus. Sirius-XM. This